visionary, revolutionary. I'm a visionary, revolutionary.
What's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the DMB podcast. I am the host, the champ, Camilio Salamander, and I'm here with my tremendous, stupendous, McMarvelous co-host, KB the Mark.
Cause I'm a fucking mark for this shit, man.
And today, man, we got a special episode for you guys. It's not just two voices here. We have a special guest. We have Ms.Quinn. How are you doing today?
Good, guys. How y'all doing today?
Doing good, doing swell.
Look, she ain't even been on here for us. She trying to take my job. You know what I'm saying? That's how I usually start off. By asking my guy, how you doing?
KB.
It's all love. Appreciate having you on here. We love talking, and I mean this, me and Salamander, we love talking wrestling with you. It's always a good time when we can sit here and talk wrestling. We're going to ease you guys into it. We're going to be talking about the product overall, both companies, AEW, WWE. A lot of news has been going around, so I want to break the ice. As you guys may have heard, may not have heard, WWE is interested in Kenny Omega. Before we get into what we're going to talk about, we'll spend just a couple of minutes on this. Ms. Quinn, we'll start with you. Is there a chance Kenny Omega leaves AEW?
No, I don't see Kenny Omega leaving AEW. If his contract was to end, they do say next month, I could see him going back to New Japan before he signs with WWE.
Salamander.
It's just to develop some talks. That's it. He ain't leaving. I mean, we know that, but I think the real question is what Tony Khan gonna do about this TV deal, because I think Warner Brothers is the bigger problem. To me, I don't know how long it's been out, but I know I was on Twitter yesterday and I seen Mark Briscoe All Elite picture, right? Now, to me, you block a man for the comments he made after he apologized 1,000 times. You blocked him from ever appearing on the show. He passed away. You block his tribute show. You get backlash. So you allow his brother to wrestle on the show. Then you allow the tribute show to happen. Now you sign his brother. All this stuff, it just shows you that they was more willing to capitalize off the Briscoe name when one is gone, no longer here, versus when he was here. That's all I'm saying. I think that's some bullshit on Warner Brothers' half.
Just comment off that, then I'll hand it off to you, Ms. Quinn, and we'll go ahead and close on that. I do agree with what you're saying, but how long have we said that, or not even us, you've always, proposed the Briscoes on AEW television, and you would always say, you got to let that go. And I would tell you, just because of the times we're in, they're not going to let that go. But it is a bad look when you would want to capitalize after the fact.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Mr.
Because it just looked like fake love. Like now, it's like, how many times have you seen celebrities pass away and now everybody want to stream their movies or music and stuff like that? That's how I look at it. Like, I was the first one to say, like, even when that stuff was coming out with the Briscoes and how they was being blocked, I said I wasn't really familiar with them. But just because you don't have no familiarity with somebody doesn't mean you can't appeal to them and feel for them and stuff. And I feel like it's fake love. Like, y'all only putting Mark out there because he don't have his brother no more. So it's like, y'all, it's fake to me. But at the same time, it's also like, you wasn't trying to. I know Mark could have went a long time ago, but he showed loyalty to his brother. So it's like you blackball him too, because he showed loyalty to his brother. Now his brother's no longer here. Now he's on TV. You gave him the match. He got signed to AEW. Now look what's about to happen. He's about to be on TV, on AEW TV weekly and shit like that. But they wouldn't do that with Jay.
Right, Ms. Quinn.
I agree with both of y'all 100%, because the Briscoes have always been great. They put on great matches. They're just awesome. That's just one awesome tag team, period. And now that Jay Briscoe is gone, rest in peace, Jay Briscoe, Mark Briscoe is getting a push that he actually should have got the push a long time ago. And now, what is AEW gonna do with him? Now he's AEW. You gonna have him run the tag belts by himself?
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and leave that there. We got a lot to get into today with the discussion of the main roster and some of the big name storylines that's been going on here. We're going to first jump into Monday Night Raw, and I want to take a look at the last 2-year run of Seth Rollins, going back to the great rivalry that he had with Edge over the summer, which led to that great Hell in a Cell match, to the program with Roman Reigns, and where you can argue that if there was ever a time you were going to take the title off of Roman, that's the time that everybody in the wrestling community would have agreed, to his fantastic trilogy with Cody Rhodes, to what he's been doing with Austin Theory and the entire United States Championship scene. I feel like Seth Rollins is a guy who should have had a main title run over this last 2 years, but because of the Bloodline storyline, and there's nothing wrong with that, sometimes something is just all-time great, and that's exactly what we're looking at. We're looking at an all-time great character in the midst of an all-time great story. But I want to start with you, Ms.Quinn. What are your thoughts on the latest 2-year run of Seth Rollins?
I think the last 2 years of Seth Rollins' run has been awesome. His character has come to life more than before then. You know, he's always had his push, of course, but it's just like they didn't want to put him over. And he could have took the belt off Roman. But because of the Bloodline storyline and where it's going, they wasn't gonna have it. And his run with Cody Rhodes to the tremendous Hell in a Cell match, and that match was, I give that a 10 out of 10 to this day. One of the best matches I can say of his career.
Salamander, latest 2-year run.
Seth freaking Rollins is top 10 of the greatest wrestlers of this generation.
Period.
Top 5.
Top 5. I was just being 10 just to throw some more, give some more people as props. But yeah, like if you want to narrow it down to top 5, yes. But you know, one thing though, I think that I kind of think is wrong. Everybody, like, you know, you gotta wait your turn. You know, Seth had his time. Now it's time to, you know, dip it back. He had to make, you know, certain things popular versus what he's doing with the United States mid-card scene right now. But what I like about wrestling is, especially in my lovely era that I love, the Ruthless Aggression era, you know, we had so many big stars who didn't need a title and shit. Like, but when they got it, it meant something. But there was so many people who was feared, who you knew could go, they didn't need a title. It was, count how many times Shawn Michaels touched the title in that whole run in the Ruthless Aggression era. Like, even though he already had like a legacy, Seth Rollins got a legacy at this point. I think he's in that position where he don't need no title to finish his legacy. I mean, he did everything. He's a former United States champion, former Intercontinental champion, former tag team. He's a Grand Slam champion. No, yeah, because he won the Universal Championship too. He's a Grand Slam champion. So there's nothing really more. And you beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. There's nothing more you have to prove. Especially in this accomplishment, you beat Brock Lesnar, you automatically an entry into the fucking Hall of Fame. Like that's like the barrier right now. Like back then, it was like everybody goes to get a match with Undertaker. Now it's like shit. You gotta go through. If you go through the beast and then you can conquer the beast, you punch your way there. That's what it seemed like.
Can't agree more with you two. Moving on, we have the Judgment Day. In regards to the Judgment Day, I want to take a look back at the entire history of the Judgment Day, from Edge forming them and them kicking Edge out to the fantastic I Quit match with him and Finn Balor to, I think, one of the best parts of Monday Night Raw, XCOM Dom's prison stay and his excellent stories, in which I thought the promo he cut on his first day out, it was absolutely fantastic.
Don't let them take me, mommy.
That too, but just the story of when his cellmate was talking trash in his sleep about him, and he got down and asked him if we had a problem, and I guess his his cellmate bitched up on him. Shouldn't be talking that shit in your sleep. But talking about the Judgment Day, and I want to start with you, Camille Salamander. Do you like the group? Do you like where it's from where it was when Edge had it to where it is now? Do you like it? Do you think it could be better? Just give me your thoughts.
So I think you can't compare the Judgment Day from when it started off to now, because it didn't even really fucking start for real. We got Damian Priest, we got Rhea Ripley, and then when we think that we was gonna add Finn Balor into this equation, and then we just come a fucking super group, they turn on Edge, and then it started being led by Finn. So it was like, I think once it just now getting started with Edge, it was cut and stuff. But I would love to see what it would have been like with Edge. I would have loved that. But as of right now, I love what's going on. I mean, shit, the group alone is really making Dom a household name for real. Like, we all thought that he was gonna become a household name, through his dad and stuff, but he actually making a name for himself through this group, and I'm digging it. And Rhea Ripley, shit, motherfucker, I'm just waiting for somebody I'm waiting for them to do it. I think it's gonna be somebody who just not gonna have that mentality of not giving a fuck and just gonna do it. It might fuck around be Brock and shit. Like, he might fuck around the F5 or shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's gonna take that one person, but who? Like, I thought Solo was gonna be the one and shit, but it's gonna take that one. But for the Judgment Day, I'm loving it. I would love to see them like fucking Finn get the United States title or something, and then Dom and Priest holds the tag titles. I would love to see that. But we already know they're gonna move to SmackDown when Rhea Ripley defeat Charlotte Flair. It's gonna be a draft or some shit, or that's gonna be their way. The dumbest thing they can do, if Rhea Ripley defeat Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania and they move Rhea Ripley to SmackDown without the Judgment Day, that'd be the dumbest thing they can do.
I couldn't agree more. Anything else you want to add?
Nah, that's it for them.
Ms.Quinn, your thoughts on the Judgment Day?
I agree with Camilio on this one too. But what I would have liked to see, now that we have Beth Phoenix in the mix with her husband, is if we could have seen what Judgment Day would have been like with both of them. Mm-hmm. And you have two females. Tag division. Even though Beth, yes, she is a Hall of Famer and she's not wrestling 100%, full time right now. But the storyline could have been put in there.
I want to add something.
Go ahead.
I want to add, when you said something about Beth, I want to add something. Every time I see her on TV with Edge, I just feel like she is such a watered down version of herself. Every time I see her, I'll be like, no, because I was like, this is not the Beth Phoenix I remember. I remember you being ruthless, you being so aggressive, and you have people fear you. Now you just look like an ordinary woman on the roster. It just you look like a shadow of yourself and shit. Like, it don't feel the same like no more.
No, it doesn't, and you're right. But like I said, if we could have got that storyline to where it would have been a husband and wife set up for the original Judgment Day, I think we would have got the ruthless Beth Phoenix. Even if she didn't, like I say, show up full time, she made her appearances, but Rhea Ripley and Beth Phoenix, they could have been a good duo with that group. And then you got XCOM Dom right now. Him and Priest, absolutely. I could have seen them taking the titles off of the Usos if the match would have went the way we all thought it was going to go that night. But unfortunately, it didn't. But that goes back to the Bloodline storyline right now.
I think they're going to be the ones to take it off, because out of all the teams we saw, I think they was the closest.
Very close. Very, very close.
Cause I mean, well, I would say next to the Street Profits, the Street Profits and then the Judgment Day, that was like the closest that we actually thought they was gonna take the titles off of the Usos.
Yeah, but you got Dawkins and Ford right now. They have so much potential still as a duo, but I can see a lot as singles competitors too with both of them.
They teasing it though. They teasing like a breakup between the two, but I think we thinking it's gonna be Montez. I think it's gonna be Dawkins that's gonna turn.
Yep. What about you, KB?
I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I love everything with the Judgment Day. As I said at the beginning, XCOM Dom.
My fault. We need at this point, since the Judgment Day and they feuding with Edge and Beth Phoenix, and that's just pretty much it. After Elimination Chamber, if Edge lose, he need to find some help. He need to come up with his own, like, since that's basically his stable was stolen from him. He need to come out with his own stable. He already got 2. He got him and his wife. Now you need 2 more people.
Take it back to the Brood. But you can't call it the Brood though, technically, because that's trademarked, and you don't got Gangrel and Christian right now. But you can form something like
he be coming out like it. I was gonna say he need to call some of his people he can rely on, some shit like that. But I was like, he can't call Christian. But who can he depend on for real? But if I see Edge with a stable, I would love to see him with some up and comers.
Hey,
call 2 people from NXT.
Hey, what about Orton? Orton comes back. You got.
But do I really want to see Rated RKO reunite again in 2023?
But that's somebody he can trust, though.
It is, but it's like, I don't know. Like, if I see Edge partner with somebody, I would like to see him partner with a young talent to get them over.
And you got Matt Riddle. You can add Matt Riddle to the equation.
That could, but I think the story in that is more of when Randy gonna show his true intentions. But I would love to see like let's say Edge go up and he gets somebody from one person from NXT and then one person from Raw that's on the undercard that not really on TV.
You got
like
Bronson Reed. He just came back. That'd be a good person for Edge to have.
It would be
if he could pull it.
I don't know. Hey, you know what would be good though? WWE need to sign the Colognes. All 3 of them. Epico, Primo, and Carlito.
I'm going to interject because we were getting way off topic here. Do appreciate all your thoughts, though. I was sitting there. As I was going to say, only thing I would hate for this story to go with the Street Profits is Angelo Dawkins turning on Montez. I think there's more money in Montez as a heel. Because eventually you can get Bianca. This would be the only time Bianca would ever be heel.
She will only turn heel if she go heel.
Exactly.
Because everybody knows they a couple. So wherever show she's on, he gonna be on. We already know that.
But WWE has already made it established that Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, there's a huge gap.
Yeah.
They've already made that happen. So you would turn Montez Ford heel because he's got more potential than an Angelo Dawkins babyface run.
But that's if we are talking about WWE.
Yes.
So they gonna go the obvious.
I mean, hence Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. They were heel at the same time.
Yeah. Now they face.
Yeah. We are gonna talk about your guy that's Bobby. Good old Bobby and Brock Lesnar. I just want to let you know, your boy been looking more like a bitch, and I don't like how they been booking him. I'm gonna leave it there.
It's because he's gonna get his payback at Elimination Chamber. That's why. But I don't know why you falling for the shit too. Like, you know how Brock get down. Why you falling for the simple shit?
The simplest of shit.
The simple shit. But he's gonna get him. Like, Brock is gonna know, because from their last encounter, he know he can't do the hurt lock. You know, once he lock it in, it's pretty much over for him. So I think this is gonna be a hit fest. 2 beefy men bumping beef. That's what it's gonna be. I want to see suplexes, not just from Brock. I want to see it from Bobby. I want to see Bobby hit. He gonna hit a spear, but I want to see him bust out and dig back into his bag back in 07 and give me a Dominator and end that bitch.
Ms.Quinn.
I love both these guys, by the way. I love face Brock Lesnar right now. But I think Bobby deserves his win and to close this chapter so he can move on and go back to,
Focus on Roman.
Focus back on Roman again. But then again, Bobby's one of those people who don't have to have a title.
Mm-hmm.
He has so much potential in himself. He don't have to carry a title, but the United States Championship was looking real good on Bobby.
Let's tell the truth about Brock Lesnar. Bobby Lashley got to win. For one, it's Black History Month. For two, Brock got a reputation of ending black people fucking title reigns in WWE. Let's take it back to 2002. He took the title off of The Rock. He took the title off of Kofi. Took the title off of Big E. Took the title off of motherfucking Bobby Lashley.
That Kofi. Hold on. That Kofi one was believable.
It still is, but it don't matter.
That Kofi one was believable.
Every black person who touched a title in WWE, a singles title in WWE, they reign ended in the hands of Brock Lesnar. You cannot do that shit in motherfucking February. Listen, bruh, you cannot. If Xavier Woods ever took single gold, keep that man away from Brock Lesnar.
Ms.Quinn, you want to add anything else before we move on?
No, I'm good.
We're moving on to Damage Control and Big Time Becky Lynch.
Big Time, she the man now.
The man, Becky Lynch.
But what happened to the Big Time shit? Because she was when she came back. Then it's like, after her mess with Bianca, she disappeared, came back as the man.
Hey man, can I get to you?
What the fuck happened?
Salamander, can I get to you?
That Big Time shit ain't working.
Oh my god. Calm down. Look, I'm gonna get this back on track. My thoughts on the whole thing, the Damage Control and Becky Lynch. I don't like it. I haven't liked it since they did the title change on the Monday Night Raw before they went to Saudi Arabia, so they could get another title change in Saudi Arabia, because they knew that was the only. I believe that was the only title on the card that changed hands.
Looking back on this shit, it should have just waited. That shit just did it.
Should have just
did it in Saudi.
Should have just did it in Saudi. And then Bayley. I really hated this when I saw how Bianca won, and I don't care what Salamander says. Bianca cheated in that match. What was it? The last man standing match. She absolutely cheated. No babyface is supposed to win like that. She trapped her under the ladder. That's not what a babyface does. So I hated it since then. They've never gotten Damage Control right. They never have. They look like the biggest group of losers who just so happen to be champions. But then if we look deeper, that division, that women's tag division, is not good. I'm gonna leave that there. Salamander, take it away.
First of all, baby faces can improvise. We seen John Cena do it when he fought Umaga. Umaga was a different breed. He had to choke him out with the rope. And that last man.
So what you're telling me is Bayley's a different breed?
No.
Okay, so why she win like that?
For her challenge, that's the most, we gotta admit, that's the most Bianca Belair been challenged throughout this whole title reign.
Agreed.
So that's the challenge. She had to improvise. So, but good. I agree with you on the women's tag division. Hopefully, it could get revived with this Ronda and Shayna Baszler taking it together. Hopefully, it could add some type of something to the division where it's missing at. But I'm not feeling this shit either. I'm over it. I think it should have been over after that steel cage when they got messed up after Raw 30. And then after that, when they ran it back, and then the steel cage match happened, and Becky Lynch won, it should have been over.
But I told you, and I don't know if I told you, Ms.Quinn, but that was the best booking I've seen in this whole thing. And after I get done, I'm gonna hand it off to you.
Lita came out and all that. I thought that was the end. Lita came out.
I thought the heels locking themselves in the cage. Because how many times have I said that to you? Like, bro, if you're in a group and you're a heel group, why don't you just lock yourself in the cage and beat the shit out the face? It makes sense. It's gonna get good heel heat.
That's Mr. Paul Levesque.
They don't do it. Ms. Quinn, I'm gonna hand it over to you. And while we're at it, we're gonna rope in number 5, the Raw Women's Division. I will make my thoughts on that after you make your thoughts on Damage Control and Becky Lynch.
I mean, I think the Damage Control Becky Lynch storyline technically should end, but let me give you my thoughts real quick. So we had Lita's return. She came out to help Becky Lynch, even the odds, so to say. Now we're in Montreal for Elimination Chamber. So Trish Stratus also has beef with Damage Control right now. So what if we get Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch against Damage Control? 6-woman tag. I don't know how the odds would work out in their favor, but of course, we're talking about WWE here. So you would have the Hall of Famers take out Damage Control, and then hopefully that be the end of that storyline.
Your thoughts on the Raw Women's Division?
Raw-
I'm sorry, not the Raw Women's Division. We know what that's like. The Raw Women's Championship and Bianca Belair's title reign.
Bianca's title reign, mind you, it's been awesome, but then again, no hate, no shade thrown towards the Raw Women's Champion right now, but you know we've seen better. They're running out of options for Bianca right now. She has technically went through everyone on the Raw Women's roster, and I agree with Salamander. Bayley is the toughest competitor that Bianca has faced in her whole title run. We keep getting the same storylines. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. Bayley versus Bianca.
She's really just
She's had her run, actually, and it's time for them to focus on something different for her. And I do agree that it is time to flip her heel, because Bianca would make a great heel.
They ran Sonya Deville twice in this title run of hers, and I mean twice as in 2 separate times. She got the win in her home city of Knoxville, and then they ran it again a couple months down the line. I just can't get with this, and I think that while the title run has been good, I think she's getting into the John Cena territory. You can only tell the same story where she has to overcome, and then when she loses, that's her redemption arc. And like Salamander has told me, when it comes to even AEW, the chase is better than when they get the title. It's like, you got the title, but then again, I'm like, with the way you look more. You're one of the most dominant looking women on the roster, so I really shouldn't even be seeing you struggle. That screams heel.
Yeah,
You got it right there. I mean, she would be, to me, a better Jade Cargill. She'd be a way better Jade Cargill. And that's not to take away nothing from Miss Cargill, because I think Miss Cargill is excellent.
fantastic.
But she would just be the WWE version of that. And then with Montez Ford with her husband on her arm, we have a black Miz and Maurice, maybe, but better. Just because they're black.
Power couple.
And I like the Miz and Maurice. I don't want nobody to get it twisted. I love the Miz and Maurice. I love the duo. Even when everybody was talking about how the ball shit was stupid, it was goofy, I'm like, no, this is the perfect thing for Miz to be doing. It's gonna get him over, and that's what Miz is there for, to be a comedy heel. But we will have a new power couple with these two at the top. Montez Ford has undergone an amazing transformation to what he is now. And he still retained the athleticism. That's the kicker. He got bigger but retained the athleticism. This is the new power couple. This is the new Triple H Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
This is it. If they and I guarantee you, this can be just as big as the Bloodline story.
And it should happen at WrestleMania.
You know, I think this Bianca title reign, it is coming to an end. But I think we sleeping on the person who's actually going to take the title off of her. Who do y'all think? We know the Elimination Chamber is tonight. Who you think is winning it? I'll tell you who I want to win, but I'll tell you who's going to win it.
I would say who I want to win is Natalya.
What you
But
think?
I would want Natalya to win because she is at home, but I think they're gonna give Raquel a push.
Alright, I'm going to tell you, y'all both is wrong.
I was going to Asuka.
I want Asuka to win, but we all know Carmella's going to win it.
You know what? In the back of my head, I was thinking that they're gonna go Carmella.
They're gonna go
my
Carmella.
gosh, they're gonna. Oh, it's like Smackdown
She's
2019
back.
all over
So,
again.
Yes. They're gonna go Carmella.
No.
I'm telling you. The obvious push is Asuka, I would say, because she's back to like her New Japan gimmick, her Japan gimmick. So I would say that's the obvious push. Raquel, if you want to build up a new star. Natalya, if you want to reward a veteran. Carmella, if you want to piss everybody off. That's what I would say.
I agree.
Anything else you two want to add on this topic?
Nope, we'll just see how Elimination Chamber turns out later on this evening.
Carmella's the Raw Women's Chief.
Along with her husband.
Corey Graves oozing charisma over
And he
her.
calling it. And he calling the premium live event.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He gonna be
Yeah, it's gonna be him
jumping
and
up
Michael Cole
down.
tonight.
oh my goodness.
Michael Cole did say that last night.
Real quick. To send the fans home mad as fuck. Do you have Corey Graves? Do you run Bianca Carmella main event night one just to send them off the air with those two make it out?
It most likely, yeah, because that's why I think that's why they're really doing it, because for real, both of the main men titles is on one man. So as of right now, the match is booked. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, for the unified title, right? That's what it's booked for. So as of right now, what you gonna run for night one? Either your mid card title or you gonna run the women's title.
What if they run both women's titles night one? Because ain't nobody taking Roman and Cody's spot
Then
night
one gotta open. That's what they're gonna have it a woman power. If they do it, it's gonna be a woman power moment. One gonna open, one gonna end it,
All right.
and then you throw the women's tag in the middle. But on night two, if it's all men, people gonna complain still.
True. You can run the Usos night one as the tag match, and then run the
Yeah.
women's tag match on night two.
I was gonna say night two. Unless Roman get cocky, I say that if Roman dropped the belt, it's because he got cocky, and he would tell the Usos and Solo to stay back, and he got this shit, and that's what's gonna cost him the title. If he go out there solo dolo, he's losing. But if you go out there with the bloodline, then I was like, we might have to put up this for another 1,000 days, man. If you retain after Mania, we in this bitch for like another year. So like, he gonna make the 1,500 days at this point. If he retains, it's gonna be a twist. I think it's gonna be some shit like he gonna win, but then like that next night on Raw, Cody celebrating this shit. Paul Heyman gonna hit him with the You didn't read the contract. You won that belt. Give me that one back. Type shit. I think it's gonna be some shit
Split
like
the
that.
titles back up. They need
Yeah.
to. They really do need to.
Speaking of titles, last topic for Monday Night Raw, the U.S. title picture and Austin Theory. I think Austin Theory's been fucking fantastic. I don't care what nobody said. Austin Theory was the man when Vince was pushing him, and he's the man now. He just looks more grown up, more adult like.
Yeah.
I thought he was the man both times.
He's the modern day John Cena.
I don't know. I won't go that far now. Nah.
That's what they trying to portray.
I ain't going that far.
I'll
say that
if
if
saying he's the greatest U.S. champion.
when Vince was still in charge and the way he was pushing her, I would say yeah. But not after that, because now I'm thinking like I don't know. I mean, he's been great, but I've been watching I watched Sheamus YouTube channel where he be working out and stuff and working out with the fellow WWE stars, and he had Austin Theory on one, and the way he act on TV is the way he act in person. So I'm like, the character he is, it fits and stuff. So I do like it, but I won't say that he's the next John Cena. Like, I don't know. We gotta see him as a face. But as a heel, he is a good heel.
He was a good face. Well, no, they were heels in NXT. Never mind. I was gonna say he was a good face, but the way was actually.
Yeah, I haven't seen him as a face yet.
Well, me neither. But like I said, WWE is trying to portray him as the new generation's John Cena, youngest everything. So they're trying to compare him to John Cena. But the only thing is Austin Theory would have to beat John Cena.
It should be Randy, because Randy was the first ever youngest world champion.
True.
Like that's why I didn't like where they try to.
The youngest U.S. champion though.
He was. I didn't know that.
I think.
KB? John Cena.
Yeah. Wasn't he the youngest to hold the U.S. champ?
We have to look into it. We'll get back to that. We want to move shows real quick. Not going to hold you guys. Probably going to get a lot of heat for this in the comments. Don't really care. I love NXT. I'm sorry. I love that shit. It is a solid 2-hour watch for me, and it just flows. So I'll be taking most of this one. I will let my co-hosts chime in if they would like to. But first off, we want to talk about Braun Breaker's NXT title reign. It has gone too long. I believe this guy has been ready for the main roster, and technically he should have lost to my motherfucking guy, Grayson Waller. He should have lost to Grayson Waller at Vengeance Day, but they decided to keep it on him. So I guess they're going Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker. And I don't know, because I was under the assumption that he was going to lose to Grayson Waller the way they set it up the first time with the whole rope break, with the rope breaking. So very confused about that. But it's definitely time to go in a new direction. And you could tell because on this latest episode of NXT, they were booing him and chanting for Jinder Mahal. They were saying Braun Breaker sucks. Braun Breaker sucks.
Wow.
Ms.Quinn, would you like to add anything?
I did see that, and I do agree with you. It's time for Braun to drop that belt. I think he is main roster ready. I think this should have happened, actually months ago. But, they're just taking their sweet little time with it. And going back to Carmelo Hayes too, he should have been main roster ready a long time ago as well. I can see him. He's one of the, US, he could be a good match for Austin Theory in the US Championship. There's so much potential with Carmelo Hayes as well that,
that I'm glad you said that, because that leads into number 3. Salamander, did you want to add something?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
But before I add it,
yes,
I want to say in WWE, Austin Theory is the youngest U.S. champion, but John Cena, he was like 26, 25 by the time he won it. But the youngest U.S. champion ever was David Flair.
Okay.
But in WCW, but in WWE, it's Austin Theory. But I'll say the biggest problem, and this is probably answer the question for all the questions that we have for NXT. I think the biggest problem with NXT is that they hold on to their talent too long. And by the time they get called up, I think their character is already ruined by the time they hit the main roster. Because it's been way overdue. Braun Breaker, I think that's what I'm fearing for him and Carmelo Hayes right now, because they've been ready. I think that's why Johnny Gargano didn't hit by the time when he finally came up. He's been ready. Adam Cole, he been ready. The whole Undisputed Era, they've been ready.
And Braun Breaker he made a name for himself, even though we know he is Rick Steiner's son. but he made a name for himself, and we don't look at him as Rick Steiner's son.
I could name a lot. Ron Breaker, Grayson Growler, Carmelo Hayes, Toxic Attraction. I would say Apollo Crews. He can come back up. Dang, what's his name? I forgot his name. Joe Gacy. He come up. He's ready. Like most of them on the roster is actually ready.
We need a lot of their women talent too, because that will beef up the women talent on the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't agree more. You guys actually answered number 3, the third.
Ain't Kaylee Racer down there?
Yes, she is.
She's been ready.
Fire.
She's been ready.
Yeah, you guys answered the number 3. Does Carmelo Hayes need the NXT title, or is he main roster ready? I believe he's been main roster ready, and all this NXT title run for him is going to do is delay his main roster debut by 6 months.
That's it.
When he should be on there already. I want to touch back on.
But
Grayson.
it's like, why though? Because you know he gonna lose and shit, and then go to the main roster. But why go to the main roster fresh off a loss? Why not go and you hot? Like, fuck that you don't have Forget that you haven't touched the NXT main title. Like, you hot right now, you ready. Like, go. Why not capitalize on his hotness? He's hot. He got the fans behind him and shit. Like, when that shit drop and people say Melo money, it's money and shit, people already know. So why not capitalize off of that?
You got Melo is money on NXT. You got Melo is money on WWE.
They gonna change that shit. They gonna change his name because they gonna want. Especially because Vince is back, they ain't gonna want to get him confused with Carmelo,
yeah.
And that's the reason why they took the Austin out of Theory's name, because they didn't want people get confused with Steve Austin. Like, trust me, we not. Like, we know people, we can tell them apart.
I want to go ahead and touch back on Grayson Waller and HBK, and then we're going to go ahead and get the last topic out the way. But I want to touch back on Grayson Waller and HBK. If at Stand and Deliver they're gonna run Grayson Waller and HBK, I can tell you right now, I won't watch it.
Absolutely not.
I won't watch it. I don't care how great, and I think Grayson Waller is fantastic. I think he has one of the most unique finishers in the game. The stunner rolling into the ring. It's one of the most unique finishers in all of wrestling, just from the look of it alone. But there's no way I want to see. How old is Shawn? In his 60s?
Nah, he's like, I don't know.
How old is Shawn Michaels? I guarantee you he's more than 50.
I think he was 40 when he came back.
He is 57.
He is 57 years old.
I mean, Sting's 60-something going through 18 tables, so.
True.
Like, he can come back and have
but
the
Sting
match.
is a different breed.
Sting is a different breed.
Look at Taker. Look how long it took him to lace his boots up. I mean,
True.
If Vince called him right now, he'll put him back on.
Yeah.
Moving on, Toxic Attractions break up, and it's JCJ the next big women's heel. Not gonna hold you. Don't know if y'all saw this. She cut a promo on NXT. It was not good at all.
You want to know what, bro? Like, after seeing what happened, I don't really care what happened with Toxic Attraction.
I don't either.
The worst thing that could happen to him already happened.
Yes.
They broke them up. That happened, and then they went ahead and broke them up. Like, that was so stupid, and it don't make no sense at all.
Right. It makes absolutely no sense. None at all. Moving on, we're going to go ahead and jump into my favorite show of the week. All Elite Wrestling, AEW, Dynamite. We're going to start off with, of course, the title picture. The main title picture, the Triple B, MJF and Bryan Danielson. Matches have been fire. Storyline's been okay. MJF is a god tier promo. Salamander, I haven't asked you. On the promo that he cut where he talked about switching places with the girl after he crashed, do you think MJF is a piece of shit?
I mean, we already know that. We knew that from the first episode of Dynamite. I mean, I think they well established that. He's only not when they are in Long Island.
Yes.
that's when he's not. Any other city, yes. Definitely.
What do you think about the Rock?
Especially when he I don't like how he did stuff our city and shit. He tweeted out talking about he got too much money to be down here.
I mean, was he lying?
I mean, he's not, but you don't say that.
And you know, hello, Ms.Quinn, you know the crazy part of that? He was in Beaver Creek. He was in Beaver Creek.
Really was.
He said that about Beaver Creek, and you know when we think about Beaver Creek, that's a nice part of town.
Yeah. Man.
He played the nicest part of the town. He played it. I can never look at it the same. Ms.Quinn, MJF, Bryan Danielson. What do you think?
I agree with you. Storyline has been okay. Matches have been awesome. Danielson has proved his worthiness, as MJF would call it, to even face him for the title. I think Danielson will have more of the experience going into that match versus MJF, but we all know they will probably let MJF hold that belt and come out with the win for that match. I would like it to change hands because Danielson, he deserves to be AEW champion. But I think they're going to leave it on MJF.
When they're supposed to have this match?
March 5th.
I think Danielson might take it. I mean, how many times have he challenged for it and haven't got there yet?
Well, and the pay-per-view is
time.
Revolution. So if you think about it, I mean, they could do a title change, but why would they do that after they just spent so much money?
You want to know why?
To bring them back.
You want to know why? Every title reign except for Jade Cargill, because she's been the only champion. Every title reign except for Mox title reign, Chris Jericho title reign, and Kenny Omega's title reign with the AEW World title. Besides those title reigns, all the other AEW title reigns has been fucking ass. The chase been better than the fucking defense. Even with MJF, quick as hell. All these fucking, it feel like it's like the build to is quick as hell and shit to everything. That's one. Two, motherfucking, let's go to the TNT title.
Hold on.
That shit been ass.
Salamander. That is coming up in a later topic.
Oh, I see it. But on the main title reign, it's been ass. It's been stellar and stuff like. And I kind of agree with you now, KB. I do think CM Punk fucked it up. I do think he fucked up AEW now. Cause ever since he touched the title, I don't think the title recovered. It been playing hot potato along with the other title that we're gonna talk about later. It's just been hot potato, and the chase been way better than the execution. I don't care what nobody say. Fucking Heyman whole title reign was boring. It was a sleeper. You blink, you miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add, Ms.Quinn?
No.
Man, the title lost its relevancy when fucking Punk dropped it, and then the next day or that following weekend he got it back in fucking Chicago just to get hurt, just to fight in the back, just to drop it, just to have it vacant, just to have somebody else win it, and just for it to keep playing hot potato ever since then. That's when the title, y'all need a new design, because it died at that moment.
I don't think so. Moving on to titles that I think are losing prestige. The Acclaimed losing the AEW tag titles to the Guns, and has the AEW tag division become the worst part of Dynamite.
I called it out.
That was disappointing.
I called it out, but yes, like I did, I stand corrected. I mean, I stand the same thing. The chase is way better than the execution. The Acclaimed chase to the title, I love the Acclaim, but the Acclaimed chase to the title was way entertaining than the title reign. I mean, them feeding what Swerving Our Glory. That was the chase for it was better, and then after they gained it, it was just like, all right, they're champion.
I think they had done everything they could do in that tag division.
But that's sad. Y'all
It's
got that many people, and this one team did everything they could possibly do.
Yeah.
They face all the possible teams they could face.
You know, it's funny you say that because if you look at your company, your tag team champions are in the exact same.
I know
position.
it's sad, but I'm saying like both companies have so many people that can create tag teams. We're not doing it.
But then
we're not giving them
we've already
people.
gotten on them for just placing random people together. You just can't do that.
Yeah, but you got to make it make sense too. Like you could build a story off of this. If you're gonna put a random person together, don't just have them show up together on one night. You can make a story out of it to make it make sense and stuff. That's what I'm saying. But I'm like, you know, we complain about having the same people on TV on the same people on weekly television, but when they put new people on there, it's like, but I don't know. You gotta find a space for them, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. If you say that Claim did everything they could possibly do in the tag division, I think that's sad because their reign wasn't even that long. And if they did everything they could possibly do, what the fuck FTR did, and they had the title for a long ass time.
I mean, I absolutely agree with you.
Did FTR hold the AEW tag belts?
Yeah, they beat the Young Bucks for them, and they held them for a nice little while, and then they.
But all the teams that FTR
no, they didn't beat the. Have they been AEW World Champions twice?
I think they have, or they've been once or whatever.
Because
I know they beat Kenny and Hangman, and that was for the first one. But I remember them beating the Bucks. That might have just been in a title defense.
Okay.
That might have been in a title defense. Don't quote me on that.
Because I can see FTR coming back and taking the belts off the gun.
You know what's crazy? In the promo, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the TNT Championship after this, but in the promo where they announced that they would be in the tag team rematch, when they said flying men through the forbidden door, I had seen something earlier that day talking about Aussie Open had like no contractual agreements. And I was thinking, Aussie Open, FTR, the Acclaimed, and the Guns. That's a good one. That's a fire match right there.
What you think about WWE targeting the people that's seen on your TV? You heard about Dragon Lee?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a problem with it, bro.
They appeared, find out he wasn't under contract, so they swooped him up and signed him.
Yeah, I mean, because it goes both ways. They tried to swoop up Bandito, but he ended up signing. So
Yeah,
it goes both ways, and that's cool. You know, the more people that's getting work, the better. But real quick, before we move on to the next one, just answer yes or no. Has the AEW tag division become the worst part of Dynamite?
Yes.
Yes.
Moving on. We have Samoa Joe, Darby Allin, Wardlow, and the TNT title. Salamander, you have a lot to say?
It's fucking ass.
Good.
TNT title lost his fucking... I think most of y'all titles lost, like, it's not lost, but losing its prestige. It lost its prestige once when we seen the grind the Scorpio Sky put on and shit, right? And then he dropped it that fast and then just being hot potato. This title really been hot potato like a motherfucker though. But I would say that is where I feel like it's lost its prestige, but we can go further back. I think the shit that really is hurting all these fucking interim champions, like...
Well, they haven't had an interim TNT title. Other than when it was with Sammy, but since they combined it,
I'm talking about like just period. Like if somebody get hurt as champion, it's an interim championship match. Then they gotta have a match with the champion and the interim champion. Like you either champion or you're not. Like what's up with this placement whole shit? Like
but they do that.
See,
you keep talking about that, but they do that in MMA.
But it's either it is wrestling though. You're either champion or you're not. If you can't come back and you're gonna be out for a few longer than a month or whatever, you gotta vacate that bitch. And then whoever wins the champion. Ain't no interim champions. It's cool when you bust it out every now and then, but they bust out every injury though if you champion. Like that's when it becomes a problem.
I think that was just Tony Khan wanting to give his champions a chance. But like you, if you're gonna be out for an extended period of time in which you're wrestling is what, 2 months.
Yeah, you off TV for 3 weeks. We don't know you. People got
Like that's a long time to be without a world champion. So I think it's just Tony Khan just trying to give his company, his champion, a chance. But you know, I think as much as it's been hot potatoed, I think this three-way storyline of Samoa Joe, Darby Allin, and Wardlow, especially after the promo that Wardlow cut this past Wednesday on his sit down with JR, I think that's adding the prestige back to the TNT Championship. It's actually meaning something. Mm-hmm. So, Ms.Quinn, what do you think about Samoa Joe, Darby Allin, Wardlow, and the TNT Championship?
In my honest opinion, I think Wardlow has been one of the best TNT champions. Darby Allin, of course, you know, I like Darby Allin. I think he is a fantastic wrestler. But I can see, hopefully, maybe if they do it, a triple threat match for the TNT belt. I think just to end that chapter between the three of them. And I just see Wardlow coming out as the winner.
All right. We have the Elite and the Trios title and what we want to see going forward. Let's just face it. The Elite have become, and I don't want to say have become because they've always been must-see. The Elite have just become more must-see TV when they're all three together. But they've started to tease the House of Black. Mm-hmm. And a part of me, like Ms.Quinn, feels like they're going to run it at Revolution, and that's not the right place to run it. Absolutely not. You can honestly drag this out to Double or Nothing, or a TV special blow off to get it to Double or Nothing. There are ways around it, but I don't want to see that match now. It deserves way more story. Mm-hmm. Ms.Quinn, what do you want to see with the Trios title going forward?
There's so much potential in a storyline between the Elite and House of Black. I think we can get so much more from that storyline if they run it the way that we think in our heads that they will. Don't push it. Let it play out, because this could be, I don't want to use the bloodline, but this could be a bloodline storyline in AEW. You got the Elite versus the House of Black. What they're doing right now with Top Flight, these couple of matches that they've had recently on the back-to-back rampages, them matches have been fantastic. But then again, you know, Ozzy Open and Will Ospreay, I mean, there's just so much potential with all of these guys. Great matches.
I'm going to go out and say this before I hand it to you, Salamander. If Omega leaves and goes to WWE, Tony Khan absolutely has to have Ospreay there. Absolutely. He steps into the Kenny role. Mm-hmm. He steps right into the Kenny role, and it'll be like Kenny left. Yeah, Kenny left. That's what it would be. But he has to have Ospreay. You need somebody who can easily go out there and bang out a 4.5 to 5 every week. And Ospreay's that guy.
He is. Fantastic.
Salamander, what do you want to see with the Trios titles?
Man, I think we all sleeping on the match of the year. The Elite versus FTR and CM Punk.
Yeah.
That's where the money's at.
Yeah. Cause we know there's real heat with that. So everybody gonna tune into that match. That's the moneymaker right there. And then for real, if AEW wanna really make some money, man, I will say fuck everybody's feelings. Let's get this check. Just do it. Just a one-off.
Is that
in Chicago?
Is that the Blood and Guts? Is that Blood and Guts? Their war games in Chicago?
Nah.
No.
Dog collar.
A triple threat tag team dog collar match?
Yes.
For the Trios titles?
Yes. In Chicago.
Ooh.
Does that main event does that main event over the world title?
Yes. Cause everybody about to go home mad.
Send Chicago home mad with CM Punk losing.
No, Yeah, he gonna lose, but beat his ass though. Like,
Oh, you trying to get the Elite killed in Chicago?
yeah,
They wouldn't make it out of Chicago.
But FTR turned on CM Punk. That's why they lose.
FTR turned on him.
Yeah, they just beat his ass, jump him in the ring.
Wow.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, dog collar match is a good match, but you trying to compare FTR and the Briscoes with that dog collar match, and I mean, it would get some
triple?
push. But the
Triple one, that'd be dope.
It would be.
Yeah, I got it. That's some nice booking right there. Just next one, real quick. When do we see Jade Cargill losing the TBS Championship? I'm calling it double or nothing.
I was thinking double or nothing as well.
She gonna get to 75.
We're gonna get Mercedes Monet at double or nothing.
I don't think so.
She's gonna take the belt off Jade.
I think Monet is coming in Revolution.
I don't think so. I think if she's gonna come, she would have came now. I don't think so. I think she's living the moment right now because of the money that she's, according to reports that's out there, the money that she's asking for, she could be making way more money. But that just shows that she's doing it just to get out her system. So I don't think her ties with WWE is completely gone. She just want to do what she want to do, which I think that's why she's not going to take that step over to AEW at the moment. Cause I think if she was going to do it, she would have been did it.
But she's done everything that she could do in WWE. If
Not
you
really.
honestly think about it, I mean, she's held the belt, so the women's belt. She's been tag champion.
The one thing she haven't done, she haven't really did two things. She haven't had a lengthy title run that actually was meaningful.
They're not going to give her that.
And she haven't had more than one or two defense where she don't look like a goof.
They're not going to give her
But they're
that.
not going to give it to her. That's the problem.
That's the reason why she's getting this out her system now. Cause she knows. I think that like, all right, I'm gonna get this out of my system now. And I'm gonna go back to where I'm comfortable at. Because shit, we know WWE's paying you that bag.
Tony Khan is going to pay her the exact same bag, and she's going to hold that TBS title longer than Jade.
Not really, though. I mean, it's possible, but shit, WWE can pay you what you want.
So can AEW.
Not really.
They can.
They
can.
I mean, it cool, but I'm like, not really.
Tony Khan can. I
mean, for real, you gonna
can make it happen.
let's say 5, because Tony Khan, he's known for signing long ass deals. So 5 years. 5 years, let's say Mercedes Moné won $10 million because they did a bidding war, but her AEW. So the shit went. I mean, WWE and AEW. So the shit went up because AEW WWE tried to offer $8 million for 3 years or some shit.
She's worth every penny of that.
So let's say they give her $10 million for 5 years. You wasting $10 million, not really wasting, but you giving $10 million for 5 years. On a women's division that is not even developed yet. What do you do with her? That
women's division is definitely developed.
Not really.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you put the title on Mercedes Moné, then what? Who do you build up to have taken off her? Because you're not really doing that shit now.
Bro, ultimately, Mercedes Moné would be heel, and you can run her and Willow, and that's how she loses.
Okay, then what? What you do at her after that?
Move her up to the main card.
And then what? Who you book her with?
Everybody.
After she captures the
AEW
Women's World Title, what do you do with her? Who does she drop it to?
Who does she drop it to?
You got 5 years. Who does she drop it to?
Depends on when she gets it, and it depends on who's hot at the time. I couldn't tell you.
It's the thing because it should be more people that should be there. You ain't really like that. Y'all don't have that many people that y'all currently building up.
Absolutely.
Who?
Bro, what are you talking about? What you mean?
In the women's division,
Willow, Hikaru, of course, Tony Storm, Jamie Hayter's the champion. Britt Baker, Riho just came back. Low-key, I want to see them start building up Yuka Sakazawa, the lady who was on the Dark Elevation show. I want to see them start building her back up. I mean,
you got Ruby Soho.
They can really start building up Tay Mello. Anna JAS. There are tons of women on there who can easily be slotted in. Sky Blue's got a match this week on Dynamite. she's absolutely fantastic. I think she's the next Cora Jade. And that's not to take away nothing from Cora Jade. I think Cora Jade's fantastic. I think Sky Blue is the next Cora Jade.
That's what I'm saying though. Like y'all got a lot of women, but these same women, like you said, okay, there's a woman who has. You said Sky Blue has a match on Dynamite. Great, but she ain't probably be on Dynamite next week. She ain't gonna be on the week after that. They not currently building up the next stars to be. That's why we in a position where we like, who's gonna be the one to take the title off of Jay Cargill? We don't know because they not building up the next person.
They are building it up. You just don't watch the shows where they build them up on. We've already established.
I'm not about to watch Dark. That shit boring.
That's cool. That's just like me saying that I'm not going to watch main event, but there's
shit. I don't watch main event either. That shit ass too. I ain't about to watch that either.
All right, moving on.
Hey, you got the bunny too. Sorry.
No, you good.
But you got the bunny.
Penelope Ford.
Yeah.
She hurt right now.
She is hurt right now, but if you go back and watch that match again, hey, the bunny, if you can build her up.
Where's old girl at? From the Heart.
Kiera Hogan.
Yeah.
Julie Hart.
She's with the House of Black.
She's with House of Black.
Yeah, so she could be one too. I thought for a moment they was building her up for a moment.
They were building her up to become right there with Malachi.
So she's not currently like.
Yeah, she wrestles.
She do?
Yes.
So I'm like, is she currently like in the chase though? She's just there in the mix. They now putting her in the chase.
I mean, she's with the House. She's with the House of Black.
But she's not currently targeting any title. They just
no.
Put
She's
in
just
the mix.
there.
She's just in the mix. That's what I mean. There's a lot of people who just in the mix though.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean.
They want to cycle back to Athena. I mean, it's a lot of women. It's
that's
a lot of women.
I got a lot of women, but they just all in the mix. They're not really targeting like, okay, this one is going to chase this title. This is going to chase this.
That's
title.
because Jamie
I got
Hayter,
2 or 3 that's like
Jamie
this is
Hayter,
going to be the people we push to chase these titles.
Nyla Rose.
But see, you're saying that because Jamie Hayter, the title picture is already jammed right now. Britt's lurking in the background. She's beefing with Saraya and the rest of the outsiders.
Mm-hmm.
Name everybody right now that's in the title picture. That's in the AEW Women's title picture. I'm gonna make a point.
Britt, Ruby, Toni Storm, Saraya. I feel like I am missing. Technically, Hikaru Shida because she's part of this outsider storyline too. So it's logged.
So that's 5.
Yeah.
How many people was ex-WWE? 3. How many is AEW World Champion?
1.
Okay.
2.
Okay. Like I said, y'all not currently building up stars. Everybody who's surrounding that picture is a household name already that people already know. Y'all got women that's there that's in the mix. They not in the picture. That's what I mean.
Some of those women aren't well, first off, the women have a secondary title.
Who's in that picture? Jay Cargill picture.
Nyla Rose, Mercedes Martinez.
Whoever she built up.
Basically.
Nyla Rose, not really, because she wrestling. She's in the mix. She's just wrestling people. That's what most people is. It's just whoever basically called Jade out. That's who her next opponent is. But
I was just saying
not really.
I was just say whoever they put in front of her.
That's really it, yeah. But y'all not currently building because the next person they put in front of her is like, all right, what you do to this position.
I mean, but with the whole Jay situation, I feel like that's different though because they're
like
obviously trying to get to a certain number of wins before they take this off of her.
Yeah, but it's meaning like eventually the title match is going to become meaningless because it's like, what did you do to deserve this shot?
We've already gotten there with her title run. It's just the number at this point. We know that she's going to win. But what's the number they're going for? That's what we don't know.
She's 53-0 right now.
I get that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all got a lot of women that y'all can work with, but the one they not in the mix, and the ones y'all do have in the mix is either from WWE because of their name.
I mean, but technically,
or they are ex AEW champion already.
I mean, but technically, I would say you guys aren't really building up anybody either. You have 6 women. That's one.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem.
One more than us.
That's the problem though. It's like we have all these people, and I would say mainly in the women division in both companies, we have all these women that can actually go in the ring and go out there and actually put on the show, but we don't use them.
Fair enough.
And that's what I'm saying though.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But it's on both sides though. Like, say even on WWE, we could talk about that too. But I'm like, say we will get to when we get to the Smackdown conversation. But that's what I'm saying. And I was like, I think that's not even in the women's division, but I think on AEW, I think kind of things like, say even in the main part of it. It's the problem of it too. Everyone y'all have surrounding every title, it's the same thing. It's a mix of WWE people and people who already held that title before. Where's the new people at? Where's the next
Fresh
star in
blood.
line? You gotta have next person in line to build up that next star. That's what I thought Ricky Starks was gonna be, but after that, he kind of fell back. Now he just in the mix. Eddie Kingston, I thought that was gonna be what he was feeling with CM Punk, but he's in the mix.
I think they're
What happened to fucking
with the way that he's
Ortiz and them? What happened to them?
Santana's injured. He got injured in the blood and guts match. But what I was gonna say is, I think they're getting ready to run MJF and Eddie Kingston. I think it's about to go Kingston Hangman because they both been talking in the dirt. She's talking mess about MJF, so that's probably their next direction. So, but I do see what you're saying. But there's not. I've always told you there's nothing wrong with going with the household name.
It's not, but when you got more, when you pushing that household name more than your originals,
but you also have to be ready. If you're not ready,
I'm pretty sure they roster probably like 200 deep.
I guarantee you, they
probably have so many people that's ready, that's being overlooked because of what your clout is.
I doubt it.
No, I'll guarantee.
While we're still in AEW topic right now, before we switch over, I would love to see Jack Perry in a title picture here real soon.
I think he's gearing up for a TNT.
Let's use that's Jungle Boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's use him for example. Jungle Boy, you see the crowd, when he come out, the crowd's behind him and shit, right? Boom. He get to the point, he's about to get a push. Let's say AEW fuck around and sign motherfucking Matt Riddle. You think they still gonna push him? No, they gonna push Matt Riddle because he's fresh off. And he a household name, we know who he is.
Nah, I doubt it, bro. Jungle Boy's got that type of clout in AEW.
I'm saying for an example, that's what AEW do. Like, that's what, well, I won't say what they do, but that's what has been done here late.
I mean, but that's
like they might push that. They got that 1 or 2.
That's what you do when you bring in somebody like that. They probably had their Mania picture for the next year planned out, but guess who just so happened to not re-sign with All Elite? Cody Rhodes. Mm-hmm. So you know what they did? Erase everything. Let's see if we got Cody. Oh, we're gonna write the whole year around Cody. And you know what's crazy? He missed 60% of it, so I can only imagine what the other 60% would have been.
We need more. We need Cody to clarify more of the reason why he left. Like, he's really not clarifying it, but it only leaves speculation and shit. Like, we can speculate it was about money. We can speculate it was about all the other talent and shit that he was signing that was ex-WWE and shit too. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, like, for real, like the TNT title, who's all around that picture? Samoa Joe, Wardlow, Darby Allin,
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That's pretty much it.
I mean, because they look at the TNT, I would honestly compare the TNT to the IC. It's just like a workers' man.
That's pretty much it, though. It's just them 4 people.
They gonna defend.
Out of them 4 people, how many is ex-TNT champions? 3 of them.
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's only one person that I could say honestly they built it up. It's Powerhouse Hobbs. They do, but it's like, now name people who's around the AEW World title. I'll put Mox in there because he just came off the title reign not that long ago.
Bro, Salamander, everything that you're saying, we could just easily turn it back around to WWE. How many people are around that world title? 2.
Yeah. They not pushing the right people. I keep protesting the person who they should push against Roman. Not even him.
I mean, how many people? How many
keep
people,
saying there's nobody left for Roman?
Like how many
people?
Plenty of people. Like how many people are around the IC title? 1, and that was Madcap, and he just lost.
Yeah, they're not building the next one. That's the problem, though. We're not building the next one. But I think is it really a problem, or is it a problem around this season?
I just think it's just a problem, period, because they want to make it less predictable, but they don't understand that some predictability is not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. It's when it's stupid. It's when it's stupidity, and it's predictable.
Yep.
That's when I have a problem with it. Right. But moving on to Friday Night Smackdown, we're going to go ahead and get the bulk of Smackdown right after that.
Yeah, we're going to have to circle back around to that conversation later date, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sami Zayn and the bloodline. I don't want to say anything because I can't do it justice, but absolutely fantastic. Sami Zayn in Montreal.
I mean, we know what the outcome gonna be. I love it though. I love how this storyline was supposed to be like a 2-3 week thing that turned into fucking 6 months. Like I love how that happened, and it just show you that shit. Like just listen to the fans more. We tell you what we want to see, and if we tell you what we want to see, just do it from there.
All these storylines that they've got going on, they have so much potential if they would just run them the right way.
Right.
And agreed. If you listen to the WWE universe, we'll tell you what we want to see. Roman's title reign, fantastic. Sami Zayn right now,
Marvelous.
marvelous.
McMarvelous. That's the WBP TV copyright.
Okay.
Feel me?
McMarvelous.
It's our world.
Okay.
It means
Immaculate.
something that he's just out of this world. It just, you ever watch something that's on wrestling television that just make you a loss of words, like you don't know what to do?
Ospreay.
That's McMarvelous right there.
He's in Montreal tonight. He's going to get his push. But again, I think we know how this storyline is going to end with him.
If you said what you said to us, if that shit true, I don't know what the fuck to do.
I don't know what to expect tonight.
I will. You remember when Undertaker first lost at WrestleMania? That black guy in the front that was just shocked.
Yeah.
That would be me. If what you sent me is true.
I mean, it's so rumored, but I would be shocked as well. And let me just say this: if that happened, I would want to see the belt split up at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much more potential for WrestleMania if they do it that way. You got Cody and Sami night 2, and then Roman and whomever night 1. Or Roman ain't even got to be in the picture for Mania, but at this point, you have to think he is Mania right now.
Yeah. The marquee match will be The Rock and Roman.
It would be.
And they don't even think they need no build. They could just do that shit on the fly for real. It could be like, you remember when the Hardys showed up at WrestleMania 33?
Yep.
It could be like some shit like that, like Roman, like they could do a thing that they did last year, but like
Seth and
with
Cody.
the Seth and Cody, that was just on the fly, like some shit like that. Like, boom, Roman got a match or a segment. You just have him come out, cut a promo, some shit, and then you just hear lights go blue. Shit. But I get a long interest. Remember with The Rock came, you see the helicopter shit, it was doing that, then seeing the skylights and all that shit, then you hear that it's cooking, and then it creeps up, and then it shoots and go quiet, and then it goes. I hate it with that. You know, Hollywood.
Yeah.
You guys are all out.
And then I can also see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I see that.
Usos
Yeah.
for the tag team belts.
But I don't want to see
again,
Sami take a step down. Like I think that's a backward step for both of them. Like just like with Jay Uso, when he was main event Uso. Then when his brother came in and just put him back into the tag, I think that was a perfect time to capitalize on this. You could have easily had him, since he's Roman right hand man, you could have easily had him go on and go like for a singles title, and you could have easily caught up Solo early, and then had him and Jimmy team up.
Quick question, real quick, while we're on the Bloodline storyline. Do you think the Usos will be in Canada tonight?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think it might be some shit where motherfucking Jay, like they come out and then it's like Jay helps Sam, like Sammy might. I don't think Sammy gonna win, but Jay helps Sammy get like a down near fall, like a 2.9999, like one of those. But it's like indirect, like he didn't realize, he was like didn't know, like he was indecisive. He didn't know to help Sammy, he didn't know to help Roman, but it was like, but his actions actually helped Sammy.
Because his actions right now that's his boy. Sammy is his boy
he still
right
dapped
now.
him up.
and he dapped him up. He walked away from the from the beatdown at Rumble, and he stayed away.
Right.
It's gonna look, y'all. Tonight,
Going down.
It's going down. I want to talk about next the resurgence of Sheamus.
fantastic.
I love it, but I think this Sheamus and Drew McIntyre shit, I don't like it. This Banger Bros shit, it's funny, but I don't like it because it's like, alright, it's like you was building up the Brawling Brutes, now they gotta take a step back because y'all got that shit going on. What's the fucking point of y'all being attacked and you have your own stable that's already have attack involved? That's stupid to me. That's one. Two, I think it was way better when they was building it up and having his like trio matches with Gunther. I think that was way better. If they would have just, even though he lost against him, I would say that's his career moment. He has to, before he retired, he has to get the IC title, of course, but he has to defeat Gunther too. I would say that. But if they would have just capitalized off of that, just keep having him just like, cause I like that shit. Like even though he challenged 3 times, like I like this. Like you hungry for it, cause we know this is all you need to become a Grand Slam champion. So it makes sense of why, like after loss, you keep going. Even if you lose, and then you gotta go through the ranks again and get a number 1 contender match again, and you win it again. Like I'm not mad that you won because I understand like you chasing this shit, so it makes sense. But if they would have kept doing that shit, and then eventually you could have did something easy like a triple threat match, and then he ain't even had to pin Gunther, but he could win it that way. I would have liked that better. I don't like this tag though with him and Drew. I ain't feeling it because it feel like y'all want to keep them on TV, but you don't want to have them at singles. Right. So it's like you don't know what to do with them, but you want to keep them on TV. So you're gonna put y'all together. Shit, fuck it. Have a what was the group back in the early 2010s with Sheamus and them? I forgot it.
The League of Nations.
Yes, bring that back. You got the Brawling Brutes. I mean, all of y'all is not from the US, so shit. And add Drew, y'all become the new League of Nations. That'd be dope. And shit. And then eventually, shit, you wanna like, I think what WWE's missing, we need a stable, but we need a stable with like that's deep, like 8 people. I was gonna say the Brawling Brutes with Drew should combine to the League of Nations, right? And then after a while, they can probably get Imperium on there, and they combine and join forces together. They'll wreak havoc over the whole Smackdown roster.
I like the idea.
Yeah.
Ms.Quinn, anything else you want to add to the resurgence of Sheamus?
Nope.
Speaking of Gunther, that ain't getting it out. Gunther.
I love it.
And the IC title run. His IC title run.
I love it. I mean, it do seem like he's defending it every other week on SmackDown. It's starting to become more of the workhorse title again. I like the prestige that they building back to these mid-card titles. I do like it. I like the announcement from SmackDown that he's the longest reigning IC champion in the 21st century. I ain't even realized that. But he only had it for like 200 some days. Like I see him going on at least a year. I can see like it depends on who his it depends on if he's on the card for Mania. But depending on who he go up against, I could see him retaining. Just depends on who they had him go up against.
Could you see him holding it until I would say SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Or what's the next one after SummerSlam in November?
The Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
If
that's when he drops it to Sheamus.
If they do some shit, like it just depends on who they got lined up in front of them. I say if they really want to do something, and after I say if they really want to do some shit, right? Because we already know the motherfucking the brand split, they don't matter no more. We got SmackDown showing up on Raw showing up on SmackDown. So if they really want to do something after tonight, if not Brock, but Bobby laid down Brock and put that to the end tonight, and Gunther is like doing this open challenge shit, I wouldn't be surprised if Bobby challenged him at Mania.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be the Mania match.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I would like to see Sheamus
I honestly,
take it off of him, though.
I want to take a step back to what we were talking about Austin Theory, his title. I wouldn't mind seeing Brock Lesnar capture a mid-card title.
Come on, that's Brock Lesnar. He ain't doing that.
I wouldn't mind it though. Just think about it. Come like
he ain't doing that.
It's Brock Lesnar. Bobby Lashley had a title match. What the fuck did this title got to do with you? Why do you care that much to even disrupt him winning it? So I think that makes sense for it just to put him in that title, just to have it, even if it's gonna be a short reign. The fact that he captured, because he never captured any mid-card title. He came in this bitch going after the main title.
Yeah, because that's just who Brock Lesnar is.
But just think about it. Think about the man. Even if it's a short reign, just think about the mid-card talent. If Mustafa Ali defeat fucking Brock Lesnar and win the United States title, think about what that would fucking do. I wouldn't even
believe it.
Think about what it would do, though.
It would honestly infuriate me. The thing is, you can't put Brock Lesnar in the mid card division because he would never lose. He would literally just have to vacate the title because he's bored, which would be a very Brock.
Well, if that's what he do, though.
If vacated,
like, you know what?
I mean, then that's fine.
I'm going after Roman again.
That's fine, but I'm still going to look at it like the Austin Theory Money in the Bank cash-in on the U.S. title.
He gonna say I'm going after Roman again.
It's going to look stupid.
I mean, this pretty much after Bobby. What do you do with Brock? I mean, you got the Bray shit, so it's like, but if Bobby wins, Bray gonna go after Bobby. So it's like, what do you do?
I think Bobby beats Brock, or Gunther calls out Brock.
It has to be for the IC title because what's the point?
He can lose. If you really want to put over Gunther as a dominant force, Brock loses.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'm saying, like, you see the hype of that match. Why? Because he's challenging for it. It's gonna be like, oh shit, Brock Lesnar for the IC title.
Yeah, but
it's gonna make the match, even if he lose. Just the fact of it, and it's gonna give like you just said. Just think about the outcome of it if Gunther lays down Brock.
But I don't think there's a plus side of Brock winning a mid-card title.
It's not a plus, but it's a plus of. It's not a plus for Brock because it's like, what, I don't benefit from this, but the person that defeats him going to benefit for it. That's the plus side of it.
Which Gunther is going to benefit because he took out the Beast.
Yeah.
In a mid-card match, of course, we would want him to keep the title anyways, because at this point in the storyline, Sheamus deserves to take the IC belt off of him. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, that's a good WrestleMania match for Brock. You put him up against Gunther, you got a win-win right there.
Moving on, I want to ask you two. What's wrong with Karrion Kross? He's just not connecting with the WWE universe. What's the problem?
First of all, they fucked up I won't say they fucked up. He just so happened to get re-signed during a wrong time because it was already leading up. Like, they already had the WrestleMania shit locked in for real. So I say he came back and debuted at the wrong time. Mm-hmm. Plus, on top of that, the way he debuted and how everything executed, it was stupid. You had him debut, take out fucking Drew McIntyre and shit like that. You feel me? And then we supposed to have the payoff match. We had it like the match, whatever. I think you didn't want Drew to lose because he's supposed to challenge Roman. But then it's like, damn, we don't want Karrion Kross to lose because it's like, damn, we built something up. Y'all fuck yourself up. They booked themselves into a wall on that one.
And now they're trying to make up for it with him.
With him and Ray, but this shit not working because it's like, why you hating on Ray? It don't make no sense of why you got some type of.
It's like Karrion Kross is giving Ray the push to face Dominic in a one-on-one match, and Ray take Dominic out. Well, not literally, but Ray win that match and kill that beef between father and son. But then again, it's just, you're right. Karrion Kross was brought back at the wrong time. Mm-hmm. Wrong time.
That's what it is. Because if you think about the way he was brought back, you would expect for him to be a fucking star. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what it is. And I heard he was actually frustrated for real. But I mean, I would be too. Shit. I mean, it looked like it was supposed to be one thing, but I say right now, I was just hanging there in WrestleMania right there. So WrestleMania over, I'm guaranteed he's gonna bounce back from here. But the thing is, I think they're gonna break to after me, and they're gonna tell him like, hey, shave that shit. You shave it, I got you.
You took
need it.
you took the words right out of my mouth.
Because right now, I think that's why we ain't feeling you.
He's not the NXT Karrion Kross that everybody fell in love with.
Right.
He's more of a. I don't know how to explain
He's
it.
a softer version of it. They made him into a softer version of himself.
Yeah, like.
But it was his idea to do the hair shit. He said he just gonna go just to, but
I mean,
he need to cut it.
Karrion Kross on NXT looked like the menacing figure with the hot wife who talked in riddles, but you knew when she put the hourglass in front of you, you were in his crosshairs, and it made whoever saw the hourglass, it just you kind of were scared for him, like, oh shit.
You know who I think who could possibly revive Karrion Kross, and I think is underrated. All you got to do is have him run in with Bray Wyatt. I don't even say he got to take some advice from him, but it could be just a run in like darkness recognize darkness type shit. Like I
can see that.
Like you could hear that we see the Undertaker versus something in his ear. It could be something like that. Like he just come across. We just see that. Like, you know how WWE, especially now since Paul Levesque been taking over, we see shit happens in the background. So let's say in the background we see Bray Wyatt whisper something in Karrion Kross' ear, and they kind of focus on it. We see like the same look that he had, that Bray Wyatt had, that Undertaker gave him when he whispered in his ear. And then that next week we see Karrion Kross just unleashed, like he just aggressive in the ring, going on a fucking tear.
He comes back bald.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Or you could run it too with them having a match against each other.
I'll have him debut back the helmet that he had on, that Vince put him on, and he come out like that, and we just fool people. He go to the ring, and they take it off, and they stomp that shit out, and then it just pissed him off, and we see that he's bald, and then he just beat his opponent. I had him like the first 3-4 weeks jobbers, but he just beat the shit out of him and stuff like his finisher with the clothesline. Like I wanted to be more like a JBL clothesline for hell. I want to see the clothesline and they do like a 360 flip, like go on a tear like that shit, like go on a motherfucking tear, whip this shit up. Like that's why I think, like I don't even think they should have a match. It's just like the darkness represent darkness, like, and then they could tease some shit later on, like a partnership between the two, some shit later on. But and that could be like the new version of the Brothers of Destruction or some shit like that. But like just give off like I gave you the same pep talk that Taker gave me, and it unleashed something. It kicked something that you was missing. You feel me? Like Bray Wyatt, he was missing that piece since he been released. It's like when you got released, he was at his height, the Fiend and shit. He got released, that piece was missing since he came back. Undertaker knocked that piece back in. We seen it on at the Royal Rumble and all that shit, right? Karrion Kross, we seen his piece and all that shit at NXT. The shit got knocked off when he got called up. Got released, haven't found it back, came back, still haven't found it back. Bray Wyatt gave him back the piece that he needed.
Anything else you want to add, Ms.Quinn? Moving on to number 5. What went wrong with Hit Row and the Viking Raiders?
I can answer the first part. He's in AEW.
Swerve?
I don't think it's Swerve.
I think it is. It's Swerve. Cause who else? I mean, you turn him heel, this shit still ain't working.
I told you.
So who?
I told you that first they debuted.
Swerve was a star.
They debuted them in
the wrong city, but
yes,
they still wouldn't
debuted
help.
them in the wrong city.
They still wouldn't help. I mean, shit, that was so long ago, and they came back, and it's still like, all right, Hit Row back. All right, off TV for 2 weeks. All right, Hit Row on the match. All right, off TV again. And then now this shit, so it's like, it's hit and miss. And it's like, the thing is, none of them can talk.
I don't think Top Dollar's that bad.
None of them can talk.
He's a decent promo.
Can't be the one.
But none of them can cut a promo like Swerve.
None of them can talk. The key part of the group is in AEW. That's what's went wrong with them. Went wrong with the Viking Raiders. You turn them to the Viking Raiders. They should have still been the fucking War Raiders. That's what they should have been. You knocked them off. That's what it is. Everybody who once was, when they get onto the main roster for some fucking reason, they'll shelve themselves unless you're a Roman Seth or one of them big motherfuckers. Other than that, you're a shell of yourself for what you used to be. For some reason, I don't know why.
Ms.Quinn?
Agree. And then, you got the Viking Raiders. And yeah, when they first debuted or did their re-debut and came back, it wasn't the same. It hasn't been the same, and they've basically ran through their It's like the Viking Raiders is, with the Usos right now. They've faced everybody that they can face.
They need to go to Raw.
And I just don't. SmackDown is not the place for them to be at.
If it's not Raw, I think it's about time for them to step foot in NXT for a little minute. Get a little wash your hands clean to come back.
Yeah.
If they don't do Raw, I think that's what it's. They ain't even got to be down there for that long. I saw them down for about 4 or 5 months. Like Finn Balor wasn't down there that long. Mm-hmm. Like a little term Finn Balor. Like you didn't know what to do with Finn. Like fuck, and then he went down there. Washed his hands, revamp his character, came back. Now, boom. I think it's about time for that. Because I think I kind of like that aspect of NXT for the main roster talent as like a hands wash. Like, boom, I can come back here, work on some shit that I'm fucking up on up there. Boom, work on that shit. By the time I come back, I'm revamping my character. People fucking with me. Now I come back. You feel me? I should be better. I like that.
Like it. Anything else you want to add, Ms.Quinn?
No.
Moving on to the last thing for Friday Night SmackDown, then Salamander will hand it back to you so you can get us out of here. The current Charlotte Flair title run, and I got a question for both of you. Has Charlotte Flair's title reigns just been plentiful with no substance?
Yes.
Yes. It haven't been meaningful since the 4 Horsewomen was a thing. When that shit was actually a thing, then it hasn't been meaningful because it was more of Charlotte won it and then boom. It seemed like it was better because it's like the competition. So she had her fellow 4 Horsewomen aiming at her neck as well. But now it's like, one of them is gone. The other ones is like 2 of them is on Raw, and it's like just you on SmackDown. You ran through everyone on SmackDown because as of right now, who they pushing on SmackDown is the only people that we really see is Ronda, Shayna, Liv, Raquel. Those the main ones we see on SmackDown. Now they moved Ronda and Shayna to the tag division. Now we got Raquel and Liv. We seen Liv for the title reign. She couldn't get past Ronda Rousey. So you couldn't get past Ronda. What makes us think you can get past Charlotte? Raquel, you's an up-and-comer yet, but we seen you couldn't get past Ronda as well. And they're on SmackDown. They ain't even had a pay-per-view. So I'm like, that's the thing. It just brings me back to the AEW conversation. There's no current build. So it's just like in the early 2000s. I keep saying Charlotte Flair is the new Triple H. In the 2000s, when all the stars was injured or whatever the case is, and they needed a champion that could put the title on, they gave it to Triple H. He was the safest bet. We need a champion who's going to bring in viewership, and we need a safe bet. Charlotte is the safest bet in the women's division. Who do you trust in that division to hold your title as a placement or whatever? Or whenever you need a champion, who do you hold? Who do you put?
Charlotte Flair.
Who do you trust in the whole women's division?
Charlotte Flair.
Exactly.
They gonna have Charlotte beat her own dad's record.
But the only person at this point that can defeat Charlotte is Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy because it's like, we don't say it so many, and so it's like when she won it this current reign, when she first won it, we ran on a rant about it. So it's like, shit, I feel like I said all I could say about this.
I mean, but as bad, I don't even want to say bad, as many as they have been, you can't argue that she's not top 5 of this generation.
She is though.
And that's why when you reach that level, you know, you're extended, you're afforded opportunities that others would not or aren't, you know, offered. Who, you know, and they try to talk about Charlotte and offer the nepotism and all of that, but I mean, if you're blessed with the gift, it's just like playing with LeBron or playing with another great. You know, you don't get as many shots as you would when when you're not on a good team.
Yeah.
But, you know, even with Charlotte, you know, yeah, Flair is her last name, and she's always compared to, or she's been, you know, given the silver spoon because of who her dad is. But she has made her own way. You know, she had the gift. She made her gift one of the most powerful things in WWE right now, in which she's the safest bet for Eve. You ain't got nobody, like Salamander said, you ain't got nobody to hold the women's title right now. Give it to Charlotte. Let Charlotte hold it until we build somebody up enough to take it off of her. You know, even her match against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania this year, that is going to close the chapter that was started when Charlotte took the NXT women's title off of Rhea and injured her. Now, I don't see Charlotte getting injured at WrestleMania because she just came back, but that will close that chapter between them two.
You know, I want to give Triple H props because that's something that I've noticed. He's been closing a lot of those chapters that that Vince left open, and I can appreciate that. Even if you have to go back 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, if you can go back and close that chapter, that's definitely props, because I definitely appreciate that, because that was left open, and that was a pretty nasty look, because you had a chance to, because you know, and I know they love Charlotte Flair, and I'm not gonna knock them because I love Charlotte Flair as well, but my thing is, you had a chance to make a star, and you chose not to do it.
Dropped the ball.
They dropped the ball, and then what made it worse is they tried to give it back to her. They tried to give it back to Rhea Ripley, only for Nikki
Ash to win. Did she cash in?
Yes.
Yeah.
But are we going to we're going to get Judgment Day Rhea at WrestleMania against Charlotte Flair. Do we see Judgment Day Rhea after WrestleMania? Do we still have a heel Rhea Ripley?
That's what I'm saying. Because we already know if she wins, she gonna go to SmackDown. Unless they do like a title swap or whoever Bianca face, and that person is a SmackDown star or some shit.
I think if they would want to keep her heel, because it's going to be hard either way. But I can see Dominic cheating for her.
The dumbest thing they can do is break her up from Judgment Day if she's winning this title. That's the dumbest thing. But before we head out, I gotta circle back around to the first conversation. I just thought about this. Warner Brothers used the Briscoes when it was beneficial to them, and they used Mark right after the whole situation happened because they knew they was gonna bring home 1 million viewers. I'm not even gonna blame AEW for that. I'm blaming Warner Brothers because they knew AEW was gonna bring home over 1 million viewers, so they put Mark on the show. They benefit them. They used the Briscoes when it was beneficial for them, but they wouldn't use it when he was alive. That's it. But thank you, Ms.Quinn, for joining us on today's podcast. Well, this is really much of a wrestling ramble.
Yeah, really.
Really of a wrestling ramble. But you know, guys, if you like more of these wrestling rambles, go ahead and leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that post notification bell so you won't miss out on any videos. Comment below, let us know how you feel about today's topics. Let us know if you want to hear more of these wrestling rambles. We can get more voices up here and everything. This is more of a thing to keep us up to date of what's going on in the world of wrestling. But once again, I'm Camilio Salamander. It's KB the Mark. Special guest, Ms.Quinn. Simply, we some fucking marks that love sports entertainment.
I started with nothing and came out a king. I've been the one that's been ballin' for rings. It's been me and my team and we chasing the green. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free.